now have, from what Jared has told us, there he is, the
Blanco.
man, the myth, the legend, Tony Blankenship on the Zoom. Tony, what is your takeaways of this game, my friend?
What you got, Blank? What you got?
Hey, guys. Great seeing you guys, man.
For sure.
Just to piggyback a little bit off what Corey was saying, that was a special play. I think that was a third down, too.
Yeah.
Jacksonville had showed a little bit of fight, and it wasn't a play call. It was just, Jameer is just the best football player on the field. And he's able to make a special play when, you don't have to make the call for the play. And that's when you know you got a special player. It doesn't matter what the call is somebody can go out there and make a play and do something special regardless of the call. Making a play when there's no play there at all.
Yep.
Tony, we haven't been on the air in a couple of weeks.
Right.
What is your position on how they've played over the past few weeks? We got Green Bay. They beat Green Bay. They came back in that Texans game last week in exciting fashion. Is your viewpoint? Do you think this is a Super Bowl team over the past few weeks and the amount of points that they're scoring?
Hold up, Blank. I love the glasses, Blank. Go ahead. You can answer. I like the glasses, Blank.
Thanks,
I'm
brother.
loving the glasses, the new specs.
So look.
Go ahead, Blank.
So look, you know what, Scott? To answer your question, they have played well in the last couple of weeks. I think the Green Bay game is a little bit something we still need to have to look at it from the perspective that Jordan Love wasn't healthy. He's playing on one leg. And that's a part of the game. That comes with it. Yet Detroit took care of business, and they were successful. The Houston game, you had some things going on in that game where Detroit didn't play well most of the game, and then made some plays in the second half. Defensively, they played really well in the second half. And they were able to, control the football game and get the win at the end. If I'm, looking at Houston and that head coach and what they were doing, I don't know what was going on. And you trying to kick field goals. You can't coach not to lose. And I just think that Houston was coaching not to lose. And Detroit doesn't do that. Campbell doesn't do that. He coaches to win at all times. And everything he's trying to do, he's trying to, get wins. So even to the fault, of his coaching decisions, it doesn't matter. So I can't be critical, of him. But I definitely could be critical of the Houston staff and what they were doing, because there's no way that Detroit should have won that football game. Yet, they found a way to do it, and that's what Super Bowl caliber teams are able to do. And the Lions are definitely in that on that level now. They're in that room of teams that can win a Super Bowl this year.
Do you think they've learned from their mistakes of last year, Tony? The championship game where they kind of let down, and we all know the outcome of that game in the second half. San Francisco obviously beat them. Do you see a team this year that is improving each week, and do you see a team that's learned from maybe some mistakes that they've made in previous seasons?
Yes, a great point for you, Scott. Yes, so. Guys, there's two things you can't ever substitute when you're having success. And one is speed, and the other is experience. So when you have speed and you have experience, you have a problem. And Detroit has both. They have guys that can really run the football with speed, and Jameer Gibbs. They got J-Mo. And then they got a group of guys who've actually suffered, some big games and losing some big games. And they're able to come from those situations and learn from them and grow from them, and you can see it. They're an elite organization when it comes to their football team right now and what they're able to do. They are arguably the best football team in the NFL right now, and it's only because they've never been able to get over the top completely is the argument, because until they're able to do it, there's going to be a debate.
Anybody besides J-Mo that you've seen, Jameer Gibbs this week that impressed you, maybe defensively? How did Zadarius Smith look to you this week?
Solid. He's a consummate professional. He's been doing it for a long time, man. And no, he's not going to be, the guy he was 10 years ago. But he's crafty. He's done it. He's been around it. He understands it. And the thing that I've paid attention to, like I know you guys have, is he's played in that division for most of his career. So he won't see anything that's new. And he'll get a chance to help those younger guys have a mind in preparation for those conference games that are going to come up. He'll help them in that way because he'll get them in the mindset that, look, I don't care what that team, has done before. When it's a conference game, when it's a division game, it's different. Mm-hmm. And as you can see today, even with the Bears, you would think the Bears were dead, and now all of a sudden they're not. So that's something that I think, he'll be able to help the Lions with.
Lions, as you know, won in blowout fashion today. What do you tell a team going into next week? You got the Colts. You're actually going into Indianapolis, and then right after that, you got the Bears 3 or 4 days later. What do you say to your team when you're putting up the numbers that you're putting up, and to keep the momentum going in the right direction?
You got to stay the course, and you listen. One thing that much love to Gary Moeller, who's our head coach at Michigan. He told us something years ago, and I'll never forgot this. When people start telling you how great you are, you hit them in the mouth. Don't get to listening to these people telling you how great you are, because we can go all the way back to the New England Patriots, who went 19-0 and couldn't finish the deal. So Lions fans, people who are, supportive of and happy about what's going on, at the end of the day, the job has to be done, and it's not done. You should take care of a team like the Colts. They're not a very good football team. They have a lot of struggles as well. They're one of the few teams, I think, that Jacksonville beat this season. They only won 2 games. I think they beat the Colts, if I'm not mistaken. So. Yeah. So in situations like that, continue doing what you're doing. Continue just being dominant. But at the same time, understand that, it's not finished. And you got to continue to grow and get better. Make sure you can stay healthy throughout the process of it all. And be prepared to, for dogfights in the playoffs. Because, look, again, I can use all kinds of examples. I use Golden State even. Everybody can talk about how great you are. Everybody can talk about how amazing you are. At the end of the day, you got to get it done.
Tony, I know we like to talk about other teams in the North. Is there any other teams that are standing out to you? I mean, I've been kind of down on the Bears. They really haven't played well. Do you think that's a testament to that offensive line, or is it just bad play calling and putting Caleb Williams in bad positions? What do you think?
Man, that's coaching. That's just coaching. It's disappointing, too, because even today, I was watching the games today, and I know you guys are watching it, too. These guys make a lot of money, man, coaching-wise and player-wise, go out there and get 50 put on them every week. Look, they're stealing. I'm like, God, how do you just keep going out here and get 50 put on you? Like, you're an NFL football player. You have some pride. Have some about yourself. Even as a coaches, that's unacceptable. On all levels. You are out here and you're professional athletes, and you're getting 50 put on you as though it's a high school game. And I get the Lions are really, really good. I'm not debating that. That is not to be debated. That has nothing to do with your effort. It has nothing to do with your commitment and your hard work and what you do to try to make the game a better game, at least so we can watch it and enjoy it. But, yeah, I think that the league itself is kind of struggling. A lot of teams with 4 wins, a lot of teams with 3 wins. It's kind of lopsided. We kind of thought there was some parity. There's no parity except at the top.
No.
Tony, I was watching a sports show, and I'll leave it nameless for right now. He made a comparison to Caleb Williams of the Bears are doing this again. You had Mitch Trubisky, first-round pick. He kind of went in the toilet. Coaching, and then Justin Fields the same way. Do you think this is do you think Caleb Williams can pull out of this? Because it's looking like maybe you might see another coaching change in Chicago if they don't pull it together by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that could happen. Corey and I both were supportive of Caleb. I can see some things with him. But, guys, we can look at the league and watch these players. We look at Jim Harbaugh. And we look at what he's been able to do with a quarterback that struggled all those years that he was in the league. And then this man comes in, all of a sudden now, Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's coaching. Coaching really does matter. Yeah. And Caleb needs to have the best coaches around him, man. He can play. and he's talented, and he can get it done, but he got to have the right people around him. And shame on these organizations that are not doing it. Shame on them.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Tony, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're enjoying yourself in sunny Vegas.
Yes.
With your daughter's 21st birthday.
Yes, I am. Thank you guys.
Make sure you give her a happy birthday from me and Co.
Absolutely.
I will. Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Listen, I want to leave you with the question, actually the trivia question, the award trivia question of the week. Who has the most interceptions thrown by a Detroit quarterback in a season? Here are your choices. Jeff Comlow, Bobby Lane, John Kitna, Joey Harrington. And notice, Co, Stafford and Goff are not on that that answer sheet.
Well, I was going to say they were tied, but go ahead.
So give us, Tony, are you still there? We still have Tony here?
I'm still here.
Who do you think is the most interceptions thrown out of those four quarterbacks?
Man,
Congo's going back to 1979. I mean, that's those names are other than Joey Harrington in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Who do you think on that?
I'm gonna go with Joey Harrington.
Okay. Joey Harrington. We'll find out a little bit later on in the show. I'll leave you with this, Tone. The question of the week is, do you think Ben Johnson, with what he's been doing so far this year for the Lions offense, do you think it's possible he may part ways at the end of the year and find himself a head coaching job? What's your thoughts?
You know what, guys? That's a great question. And I'm going to leave you with this.
Okay.
One thing we learned about the NFL is everybody that's a coordinator is not a good head football coach. And it's being exploited at a very high level with these guys that are head coaches now and who've had been in the past.
Yep.
Ben Johnson, as great as he is as a play caller, does not mean he's the leader of men.
Right.
Sure.
Does not mean that he can go and lead an organization and be a face of an organization. He may not even want it.
Right.
That's the thing. He may not even want to be that guy. But everybody doesn't have that DNA. Everybody doesn't have that, that it about them where they can actually lead an organization. Just because they're so good at what they do when it comes to their profession and calling plays does not mean they can go on and be leaders of organizations. So
Exactly.
I would, honestly, I don't see him being a head coach. I don't get that from him. When I watch his demeanor, when I watch his mindset, when I watch what he's able to do and how he carries himself on the sideline, I see him doing what he's doing. Now, I say that as well, and I'll end with this. If he can get the right people around him so that he can be the best version of himself and running an offensive program the way he runs it when it comes to an NFL team, because he's great at it, he has to have really, really good people around him, too, because I don't see him being a rah-rah guy. I don't see him being a guy that's going to have a situation where he's the leader of men. I don't know he has that kind of mindset and that type of personality.
Why do you, before I let you go, and I'm not trying to keep you, Tone.
No,
I'm
good, guys. I don't have to go anywhere.
Okay, well, that's good. Why do you think guys like Doug Peterson, who the rumor through the Daily Mail says he's probably going to be done this week? Why do you see guys like this? I know he's got a Super Bowl under his belt, but when you look at his stats or his win-loss, he's not that great. And why does he keep getting jobs like this? Is it a shortage of head coaching talent, or is it just who you know?
No, it's who you know. It's the good old boy network, guys. And people don't want to talk about it. And it's the way of the NFL, the way of professional sports. It ain't what you know, it's who you know and who like you. Mm-hmm. And, that's just what it is. Yeah. At the end of the day, there are a lot of people, including myself, who could be doing some of these jobs and have opportunities like these jobs that are given. But again, they recycle coaches in the NFL. You guys look at what's going on. It's normally the same dudes being recycled. And our generation of guys, Penderson included, we're all in the same age range. These guys should not be head football coaches. There are a lot of really good football coaches out here, man. And they're not getting opportunities because they keep letting the other guys stay in. And continue to, keep things going without any success. They go from job to job and still don't win. Right. Shame on the NFL for that.
Tony, is there any other rumors that we thought we heard? Are you really in Vegas candidating for the Las Vegas Raiders job? Is that true?
That is not true. But if they call me, I'm listening, and I'm going to sit down and talk.
We won't go into Michigan football, but I think you should put your hat in the ring on that.
Right.
Hey, he isn't fired yet. We're all right at Michigan.
Tone, thanks for coming on the show with us today, man. We'll see you next week. We hope you have a safe trip back, and make sure you tell your girl happy birthday, 21st. That's a milestone.
Hey,
yep, no doubt.
Hey, happy birthday to my parents, and had a wonderful time with my family, my daughters, Autumn and Madison. Thank you guys, and Ron, Rhonda. Thank you guys for just having me coming in today and giving see you guys. It's been great. I'll see you next week, man.
All right,
sounds good, Tony. Thanks for
safe travel.
Safe travel. Okay.